It's about that time. We are back for episode 2 of the It's About Time podcast with our host with the most, Jason Chung, yours truly. We also got our lovely Tanner Chin, and there's Troy. And we're back. So actually, I don't have any topic to start off with. Did you guys come with anything planned?
Well, actually, I was listening to Stuff You Should Know podcast earlier today, and they were talking about this thing called Korean fan death. So it's apparently this superstition where Koreans believe that if you leave the fan on overnight, you will die.
You know, I leave it on every night.
Now, is that because they're afraid of the fan falling on them and like?
I get that fear. Oh, okay. Well, shit.
It's not that. It's not that. It's not even like it chopping you up or anything like that.
Okay.
Apparently, one of the things is like dehydration or something like that.
It'll
like
dry you out.
Dry out, or you'll die of hypothermia or something like that. It's some like.
It's a bad omen.
Yeah, but there's actually like reported cases where doctors will write off some deaths as being death by fan. Well, they'll say like it's asphyxiation, and then like it'll be asphyxiation by fan or something like that. But so it's just like a deep-rooted superstition.
Okay, so I should never trust a Korean doctor to diagnose me. Is that what you're saying?
You're saying that they got some.
If they're willing to say a fan was the reason for my death, and it wasn't anything like it chopped me up or land just fell on me in my.
They just dehydrated you enough in your sleep.
Dehydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when they find people like dead in their beds, they're like, oh, it was the fucking fan again.
Yeah, it wasn't a fucking parasite that came in and fucked you in the ear. No, it was a fucking fan. You know.
Wait, are you saying the other thing is more likely?
Yes. Then the fan dehydrating you? Yeah.
Man, they actually have some science behind it.
Listen.
Well, okay, it's not really.
I could say there's a science about anything.
Well, no. So GE actually has like this warning label that I don't know if it's a warning label, but they had this kind of thing that they said, if it's more than 90 degrees in your room, which like God forbid it's fucking 90 degrees while you're trying to sleep. If you leave the fan on, it'll actually dehydrate you because like it's pushing hot air against your skin and something, which is it's probably very marginal. Like
maybe you would have died anyway in 90 degrees.
Yeah.
At that point, you would.
That's so fucking hot.
At that point, the fan is like convection, like baking you or something.
Yeah,
you're air frying you.
You're literally getting air fried by your fucking fan. Oh my god, that's terrible. You come out crispy.
It doesn't actually cool the air.
No, it just circulates it.
Yeah, it just
so
circulates
it cook evenly.
Yeah.
I want whoever eats me, I want them to have an even experience.
It's like a nice crock pot.
Crock pot. We already said what it was. We said it's a fucking air fryer. You don't come up here with crock pot bullshit.
I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Crock pot. We're not slow cooking us.
It is kind of a slow cook.
Nah, it's air frying. Because when you slow cook, I imagine that we're kind of being like boiled.
Boiled.
What?
Like a stew. He imagines a stew in a crock pot.
Yeah, a stew in a crock pot.
Yeah, a crock pot doesn't boil.
All right.
I don't think it boils.
All right. Listen, I haven't owned a crock pot in an amount of years, but
have you ever owned a crock pot before?
My father owns a crock pot. And
at this current time,
he still makes a lot of soup with it, which I find disgusting.
Can we call him up as a special guest right now just to confirm this?
I wish I had his phone number. I'm just kidding. I have his phone number, but no, I'm not gonna call my dad right now.
Since you got milk 20 years ago.
He said he would be right back, and I still haven't heard from him.
Some cigarettes, I swear.
But for one, also something to kind of catch everyone up on. There is a reason why Troy and I are kind of finely dressed, and then Tanner looks like a fucking bum. So Troy and I just had work today. I mean, we always have work.
Only today,
but
only work on Wednesday.
But for some odd reason, everyone in our like kind of squad decided that blue was the thing today. And
it was pretty crazy.
And also, Troy and I decided that it was a dress shirt day. Normally, I just wear a polo and some jeans, but
yeah, we got dressed up. Both stepped out of our bedrooms, and then I didn't even look at him. I just saw my peripheral vision, and then he said, "Oh, so why you gotta wear blue today?" Or something like that. And I was like, "What's the problem?"
I was like, "One of us got to change, dude." Oh my god.
But it was too late. We were getting a little bit late for work because it was hard to get out of bed today. So we were just like, all right,
has
we
it
gotta
been
go.
getting harder to get out of bed for either of you? I know Troy does a little bit, but
Yeah, for me, for sure.
Well, I think the cold weather definitely makes it much harder
It
to
must
get out
be
of
the
bed.
cold
I
weather.
hate the cold weather. It makes the bed that much more hard to leave, I would say.
Yeah.
I love.
And
to
also,
watch
I've
it
been kind
go.
of getting woken up in the middle of the night because it's kind of cold. I get very cold.
Well, you shouldn't sleep by the window.
Oh, well,
That's because that's where all the cold comes in through.
My bed is in the only like logical spot in this like room though.
and the
And it's
window's
right by
right
the
there.
window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I mean,
I have mine half by the window too, but that's how the cold gets in, or how the heat escapes.
I don't wake up in the middle of the night because of the cold. I don't think.
I've done it a couple times.
I wake up in the middle of the night because of the nightmares and scary.
What do you
Oh.
have nightmares on?
You know, I haven't.
What is your nightmare?
So last night I was in a very empty black space, and I was just like standing there, just wondering like what the fuck is going on. I didn't know it was a dream, so I'm just like standing there, and I see like this person I know, which I'm not gonna name, kind of appear out of it and just ask me like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Am I even okay?" And I start questioning my reality. I'm like, no, don't, please, of all people to ask me this, don't ask me this right now. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm okay.
That sounds like
What the heck?
It reminds me of that scene from Get Out when he's in the sunken place.
I haven't
and
seen
he's
Get
just
Out.
kind of like
Don't-
floating.
no
Oh,
spoilers.
Wait,
yeah.
I haven't seen it either.
No spoilers.
Oh wow, what the heck?
So you're gonna have to find a new example, Tanner.
That reminds me of
That one
not-
time.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's pretty creepy. So did you just wake up as soon as he said no, I'm okay, or did it kind
Nah,
of carry on?
then I eventually like appeared somewhere else, like Inception, where it's like, oh, how did we get to this coffee table?
Mhm.
But I ended up, back in my bed in my dream, and I'm just like laying there, just like, holy shit, that was a weird little little predicament I just went through.
Wait, so
think,
you had a layered dream? It was dream.
See,
dream?
I guess is what you would put it as. It was a layered dream,
Okay.
but there was nothing more to it. That's basically all that happened.
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst nightmare that you can remember having?
I remember this one
God.
dream. I don't know why it's so vivid to me, but it's not even that weird or out of nowhere. But I was in my old house, the house I was born at, and I got out of my room, and I walked through my hallway into the garage at like 4 a.m. at night. And I opened the garage, and if you've seen Star Wars, the droidicas, those rolling droids.
The one like BB-8?
No, the rolling ones, like they go like poo 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 poo.
Oh,
They're in episode 1.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
They roll.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they were standing in my garage, aiming at me. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? And they start firing, and they have their shields on. And I close the door, and I run into my living room, past my living room, into my dad's room, and I'm like, Dad, holy shit, there's fucking droids out there. And he's like, okay.
These are not the droids you were looking for.
And my dad is just that weird type of dude where he just doesn't care and just like, he just sits on his computer like what I'm doing right now and just like, get the fuck out of here. So, and I don't know why that one still like resonates with me.
That haunts you.
It
Maybe it haunted you not because of the droids, but because of the fact that your dad didn't believe in you and want to protect you.
It was
Whoa, get the
neglection, bro.
fuck out.
Whoa.
Whoa.
This is some Freudian psychology shit.
Freud.
No,
This
that's
is not
another word.
Freudian. This
No,
is,
Freud is mother.
that's sex. It's like
Wait.
Yeah, but Freudian
That's
psychology is about drawing like real world, like saying that your dreams and everything. It's called psychoanalysis or something like that. But it's all about like your dreams have an effect on are like representations or manifestations of your real world problems.
That's right.
What, that's Freud?
I forgot to mention
Yeah.
that after I begged him for help, he made me suck his dick. So I guess.
I'm like, okay, and there it is.
there
There
it
it
is.
I don't know why I keep remembering this dream, but
I don't know why I keep hungering for dick so often.
I just like
Just
sucking
miss
on my
daddy's cock.
thumb. I like sucking on my thumb. I have so many like what is that called? when
Oral
you-
fixation.
An oral fixation. I just want to
Well, what about you, Troy? Do you have a fucked up dream that haunts you to this day?
Yeah, I guess you would consider it a dream, but sometimes you would even consider it a hallucination because it might have been it might have happened while I was awake. But I've only had it like once, maybe twice in my life, but once I remember this one time. It's the first time it ever happened to me. The sleep paralysis, right?
Yeah, that shit
I've
fucks
never
you
had
up.
that.
So, and it was so crazy is I heard about it so much before I finally had it. So at least that kind of helped me know
What was happening? Like
yeah.
as it was going on. Yeah.
But honestly, still, even in the moment of it happening, I wasn't able to logically like bring back all those lessons that people taught me, and I was
Yeah,
still
well,
99%.
describe what it felt like. Describe what the sleep paralysis felt
So
like.
pretty much the room I was sleeping in at the time, my old apartment in Tallahassee, it's the same exact setup. Bed right there, and I'm facing the wall, right? I'm like on my side facing the wall, and I don't remember if I was in a dream, if I was awake, but I could barely open my eyes. I couldn't move. But I knew for some reason there was an incredibly scary and large, like black demon-like figure laying next to me in bed or over my shoulder. And usually sleep paralysis is all about sight. Like you see something so scary but you can't move. Mine was special in that it was all about hearing. It was the most demonic, like scary blabbering right in my ear. Like he was whispering right in my ear.
Can you mimic it?
No, I really can't. It was otherworldly. It was otherworldly, and I felt so helpless. I couldn't move. I could barely even open my eyes. I could see like maybe a little bit of my wall, but I knew he was like right behind me, like whispering so scarily.
And you feel it against your neck.
I felt a little bit too.
Did it look like an owl? Was it an owl?
A white owl.
It's so weird to describe that. I couldn't see him, but I could see him at the same time. If that makes sense. Kind of like a third-person video game view. I had two views. I had first-person view looking at my wall, and then I had another view where it's like a camera in the corner of the room looking at what's happening, and it was very, very scary. I just knew he was like black, large, and like misty and shadowy.
That's so weird because that happens across multiple people. Like
of all cultures. Yeah. Even if you didn't share this information, like people have had this.
Have the same thing, and that exact same thing happened to me. And it was actually like Inception, like because I was waking up out of dreams and I was waking up in sleep paralysis in a dream. So I was paralyzed in a dream, but I was also paralyzed when I finally woke up. But there was a point where like it was dead of night, but when I had opened my eyes and I was paralyzed in my bed, and it was bright as day coming through the windows.
Yeah. And mine was bright too.
And I could see it was like imagine like scribbling on a piece of paper, just like black scribbles. That's what the black blob looked like.
Yeah, I had a similar.
And it was kind of like right next to me, but I could hear like all these screamings and all these like voices just like whispering and yelling all at the same time.
Horrible whispering.
Yeah.
And even though I couldn't understand like any words he or she was saying, I knew it had like malicious intent. Like he or she was going to like really hurt me. Yeah.
I feel like have you ever seen the movie The Fourth Kind? I know Tanner has.
Yeah, that movie was so stupid.
I literally feel like you guys are like feeling like
it's
being
different
abducted.
than that.
You guys are being abducted.
It wasn't a feeling of abduction. It was just a feeling of like dread. I think that's the perfect word to describe it.
I wasn't abducted. I was in my own place. Like dread. I agree. Like it's coming. You can't do anything about it.
But actually, so I wasn't that scared when I was in that state because I had already read about it. But the worst nightmare that I can remember is actually being in like this kind of like dark room, and there was a endless pit in front of me, and it was like torch lit and everything, and there was a giant spider on a pendulum.
A spider,
like, rocking back and forth.
God.
Rocking back and forth towards me, and I was like sweating when I.
Oh wait, so the pendulum swinging towards you, not like
it's not trying to cut you open. It's trying to put this spider on your face.
No. The spider is the pendulum. It is.
Yeah.
Wow. That shit scared me way more than the black blob whispering in my neck.
Really?
Are you deathly afraid of spiders IRL though?
I hate spiders in real life. I will kill them every time.
I'm not deathly afraid. Like if I see one, I don't.
It's not irrational. Phobia. You don't have that irrational.
No. When I see it, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather not get near. But if I see a daddy long leg, like that's not.
Are you afraid of daddy long legs, Troy?
I'm afraid of dads and long legs. But yes, I would kill them.
Lanky spiders. It's because did you have a dream of him neglecting you and asking you to suck his cock?
No.
No.
It was just him, not giving me any attention in life, no matter how much I tried to be affectionate to
My
him.
God, please.
I'm just kidding. No.
Is this giving you
Oh my-
PTSD, Jason?
No,
With
no.
with your nightmare?
That's not even my. Oh my God. It wasn't. I don't. Like I said, it wasn't even a nightmare. It was just something that was so ingrained into my whole psyche that whenever anyone asked me like, what's the like scary or most memorable dream to you?
That's it.
That's it. Wait, Tanner,
Actually-
don't you sleepwalk?
I do, but I don't. I mean, I guess
my-
I don't know if I've done it in a while. But
I mean-
I don't think I have slept.
I do not sleepwalk.
You're not an active sleeper.
Never. Never have
Every
sleepwalk.
time, almost like every time I've ever like slept in the same like apartment, Airbnb or whatever, Tanner has like some like weird episode. The first time I've ever like hung out with Tanner and he slept over at my apartment with one of our friends, Hannah, and we're sleeping in my living room on the couch, and it's like I've only known Tanner about maybe like 2 weeks, like fully. And
If even,
if even, and I'm
Oh my God.
and it's 4 a.m. and I'm like rolling around and I hear and I'm like, the fuck is going on? And I pat Tanner, I push him, and I'm like, Tanner, what's going on? He's like, what? I'm like, you were screaming. And then he's like, yeah, I get night terrors. I'm like, are you?
Yeah, see, I don't know if they qualify as night terrors because
You
What
called
is that if that's not a night
you
terror?
called it
no, 'cause
a
I
night
think-
terror. I don't know if
I
it's
said that
actually.
because that's what people have told me it is. But night terrors, from what I understand, is like you experience like extreme dread in a nightmare. I guess.
But you don't you don't even remember it. I feel like you.
But that's the thing, because I don't even remember it.
Oh,
So,
I
like,
see what he's saying. So you can't define it as night terror because he didn't even know he was terrored.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I don't know what
Dude,
it is. But
You were being possessed, and then
Uh-huh.
your inner soul was fighting that demon off of you.
that's what it must be.
That was the sound of your
Honestly.
soul
That's a
screaming.
big fact. Big fact.
Richie.
I've
my psyche.
I witnessed it enough, and there are multiple times where Tanner has actually like walked around and actually slept walk.
Yeah. No, there
Oh
was
my
this
God.
one time where this was back home in Miami, but it was like the afternoon, so I took an afternoon nap after school, and then at one point I kind of woke up, and when I wake up, I'm really delusional. And actually, this doesn't have to do with sleepwalking, but I woke up and I had thought it was the morning for school, so I was like, "Holy fuck, I have to get ready." And everything.
Oh,
But I try to leave. I try to open my door and leave my room, and I'm like banging on the door, like trying to get something. Like, Dad, open the door, please! Somebody open the door, let me out. And then like eventually my senses came back to me, and then I just
You realize it was a
opened
pull. It was a pull door.
And my dad was just in the room next right door, and the door was open. He could see the whole thing happening, and he was just watching TV, like he wasn't even paying attention. I was like, Dad, why didn't you help me? Like, I don't know.
He was like,
Wait, I mean,
I wanted you
even
to
then, shouldn't he like
experience
say something like, "Son, you're crazy," or like?
No, he didn't like acknowledge it at all. He was just like,
Maybe you weren't
So-
actually doing anything.
bro,
Like
whoa,
what?
Whoa.
It was all in your head that you were like screaming and trying to bang out. And he's like, "What do you mean?
Yo,
You
you're
just
crazy.
walked out."
I was like ready to rip off the door or like smash
To
it
get
to
to school.
smithereens, man. Like if I didn't come to my senses, I would
You
have kicked down the
need
door.
a service dog.
A service dog
At the end of the
to
day,
watch me while I sleep.
yeah, he'll bark
Yeah.
whenever you like start being crazy or something to
Yes.
wake you up.
Well, actually, so now when I sleep over at places, I make it a point of like tucking myself in. So like I put the
Like a
blanket
straight jacket.
Yeah,
you
I
straight
straitjacket
jacket
myself.
yourself.
to make sure I don't get up, dude. I'm like, fuck, I can't do this.
Yo,
Not
that'd
around
be
these
the
people.
most attractive thing ever. Like you
Attractive
find
thing?
like
I like
yeah,
to
because
prove
like
myself.
you find a new girl, right? You guys grow closer over a couple weeks, and then she like sleeps over, and then like, good night, and then you just like straight jacket yourself in, and then roll over like this. She's like, oh shit, and like she like
I
calls her
scream,
friends
don't
like,
call the cops.
pick me up, he's gonna kill me, he's gonna kill me.
On,
And then-
Where's Johnny?
That would put the cherry on top if you like fell asleep with a smile on your face.
Oh,
Like while you're straight
and it
jacketed.
has to be a wild one. It doesn't. It's not just a regular.
yeah, like a
Yeah,
Joker.
and you wear a blindfold too. Yeah.
Oh god.
Have you?
Blindfold, straight jacket, smile.
Have you? So I think Troy, you mentioned this just like at the beginning of this that you said you hallucinated a little bit with that like, one kind of nightmare.
it was either in a dream or real life and a hallucination. I don't know to this day what it was.
Have you guys actually hallucinated before? I know I've done it once in my life that I can remember.
I
had
don't know.
audio hallucinations, but I've never had visual hallucinations.
I don't think I've had hallucinations.
This one time back in middle school, I made an effort to try to stay up 24 hours plus to try to see how it is.
I've done that.
And apparently that is a big kind of cause for hallucination. So
that shit fucks you up.
I come back home into my my house and I see my sister holding a fucking time bomb outside my room. I'm like, Jessica, what are you doing? You have a bomb! You're gonna blow up the house! And I'm leaving, and I run into my room, close the door, and that was the end of it.
This room will save me.
Yeah, this perfectly flimsy ass hollow door,
little door
is gonna keep me safe from this explosion.
Was your sister actually there, or
yeah,
she wasn't even there?
she was there.
What was she holding though?
I don't remember. You think I know?
Okay.
You think I fucking know? I just remember being afraid that she was about
Dude,
to blow everything
what
up.
if you weren't hallucinating, and then your reaction made her rethink her decision? She was like, "You're right, Jason," and then she
She'd been
this time bomb. Not anymore.
defused it herself.
Bomb fused.
That shit is fucking wild. I don't know.
No, but have you guys ever heard of astral projection?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, if you watch Insidious, yeah, that's astral projection.
So yeah, astral projection is basically when you project your spirit into the astral plane. And the astral plane is just basically.
I'm gonna freaking have nightmares.
So
tonight.
a limbo. You put it into a limbo. This would make sense.
Really
Hey, this is
Jason,
good.
You know this.
This
right?
is good because this is kind of like our Halloween episode, since Halloween is 7 days away.
Yeah. Let this be Halloween.
Let this be our Halloween episode.
But anyways, you push your spirit into the astral plane, which is like this plane of existence where spirits and demons are supposed to reside and everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And supposedly you can go and you can talk to other people and you can talk to their spirits if they were astral projecting as well. Mm-hmm. But apparently it's supposed to be dangerous because you could encounter a demon.
No,
and
apparently
kill
no.
you on astral plane, or they could fuck you up.
Because the movie explains it's so dangerous because when you astral project, you leave your real body to be vulnerable as a vessel.
That's one of the things that they say.
Yes,
but,
of course.
So when I tried it, so the way that you're
here.
supposed to try it is that you're supposed to kind of one of the ways that helps is you put on music at a certain frequency, you put on a sound at a certain frequency, and then you lay in bed super still, and then you kind of just imagine pushing your your toe.
Why would you want to do this? I would never purposely try to astral project.
Some people are fucking crazy, dude.
I just wanted to see if it was possible or anything like that. But when I tried it,
you're gonna get lost like that little boy in Insidious.
I started to have audio hallucinations as I was trying it, and I was hearing people screaming outside of my.
Stop! No!
It was children. It was little children.
Of course, it's children.
Yeah. No, it was pretty bad, and I could hear weeping, and at some points I would be able to hear things right next to my ear, breathing down on my ear and just weeping, and it was It was pretty horrifying. After that, I was
you're literally making Troy uncomfortable.
Dude, you're gonna make me and Jason astral project on accident tonight. We're gonna meet each other. We're like, "Is that you? Why are you awake right now?" And then we look in our beds and our bodies are still there. We're like,
"No." It could be like Freaky Friday, and then Jason takes over Troy's body and
listen,
and then we just do the little Dicky song.
We still do the same shit that we do normally every day.
Yeah, it would just be the same. Yeah.
But no, that shit was crazy. But I used to actually try to induce anxiety on myself before I go to sleep.
Well, because be an ass. That's such an asshole thing to do to yourself.
But I would induce anxiety on myself because it helped me have more vivid dreams.
It's
and at
true.
That time, I was
okay, so I did try to make myself lucid dream.
We've all tried. Everyone has.
And I followed the tips, and the tips are for real true. That one huge tip is to
rub your hands or something.
I don't know.
Purposefully wake up in the middle of the night at a weird time, like 4 or 5, right? And then go back to sleep. And then when you go back to sleep for the second time, you have way more conscious power.
Oh, wow.
And I remember that's how I got my first lucid dream. I've only had one in my life, and that was me trying really hard for 2 weeks straight.
So what did you do while you were in your dream?
And now let me explain why it's so special for me. 99% of the dreams I have, I think are 100% real.
Yes.
I'm not I'm in a dream, I can do whatever I want. I'm this is real life. I gotta do this, or I'm gonna die, or I gotta do this.
I die in real life.
I'm gonna do this because I want to.
Man, oh my god.
Yeah. So when I finally had my first dream where I knew it was fake, and I started like saying it out loud in my dream, like I'm lucid dreaming, and then I just started like just doing weird things.
Like what? What? You start raping a dog
I
or something?
I took over the first perspective of an RC airplane, and I was flying it through my middle school.
Yo,
So
that's
first,
so cool.
I'm myself. I'm flying the RC airplane, and then all of a sudden, my sight switches to the airplane itself, and I'm seeing like POV, like I'm the plane, and I'm like,
Yo, that's
are you
cool.
shooting people as this is happening? Like, ga 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 ga.
no, I was just flying through. It's just a harmless, like
That
old
reminds
'90s
me
airplane.
of a game called Toy Commander for the PlayStation. I don't know if you guys have ever played
Don't.
that.
No.
But you literally play as like little, like a toy plane, and then you shoot pencils and erasers at other people. I think it was really good. But damn, that's wild. So every time that I try to lucid dream, though, I always wake up because once I realize that I'm in a dream, I like my heart rate starts to rise and everything, and I just wake up.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that didn't happen to me because I'm sure my heart rate also went because I was excited and I was happy. I was like, oh, I finally did it, you know.
No,
But,
yeah, I get too excited.
No,
I got to like enjoy it for probably a while.
I've never had a lucid dream. I've tried. Have you done the one where it says? I think it says you lucid dream. You cut like a ping pong ball, put it over your eyes, and put static.
No,
on
no,
it.
no, no, no.
I didn't read that.
That's how you hallucinate. You don't lucid dream from that.
Oh
But
right,
I heard-
that's what it
I've
is.
tried
He's like, that's
that.
why I hallucinated.
I've actually tried that, and I think I saw an elephant or something like that.
No, that was
Wow.
just your own mother, dude.
Whoa, what?
But yeah, no, you're supposed to play a certain frequency and then have like lights on top of the ping pong ball, so it like looks like red light or something like that.
Yeah, it's like you put static or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
What is Troy doing?
Yeah. he's fixing his bed, man.
No.
I'm hallucinating.
He's preparing himself for his
Where
his
are you
sleep
guys?
practice later.
Mm.
But no, I used to really be into like sleep stuff, like
What a
seeing
fucking
if I could
weirdo.
hallucinate or astral project and all that kind of stuff. And after a while, like,
Dude, do not astral project. Don't do it.
Have you ever wanted to like? Have you guys done a Ouija board before? I've always.
Oh
wanted-
heck
I
no,
don't want to.
that's effed up.
I've always
That's where I
wanted
draw the
to
line.
actually do that, but like no one's ever been done. Some people actually didn't you own one, Ten, or no? You had or you
No.
Oh my
had you had
God.
I
access
had
to
Bible
one.
trivia, man. I didn't have.
Oh, that's
fucking-
close enough, man. That shit.
Why would you like risk like doing that? Oh my god.
Wait, so
That's, like-
okay, so let's get this straight. All of us believe in ghosts, right?
yeah, I believe in a higher power. I think just like Jason does, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think
But-
with that higher power, like there can be like a spiritual plane, like
So
an intermediary
You
ground.
believe that there can be like demons and like kind of like you said, insidious type shit.
Oh yes, I think though that level would be pretty rare. I think there's at least just normal ghosts laying around.
I don't know if I believe in ghosts, and
Well, you-
I don't think I really believe in a higher power. But I don't know. Ghosts just seems like
Ghosts
Yeah.
seem so real to me. Like I get scared. Like I believe in it, and that's why those are the only scary movies I like because I.
so. If do you ever get scared going into like a legit haunted house?
Oh yes, like I will never step foot
Yeah.
in a haunted house because of that shit.
Yeah,
That
I'll
shit-
only go to like a fake haunted, like the Universal Studios.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
where they can't
Like-
touch me, but they'll grab at me.
yeah. And if they touch me, I'll sue them.
Yeah. But no,
But, yeah.
I feel like I've had paranormal experiences, but
What
my
name?
God.
Recount a paranormal.
I gotta
experience.
think. Like,
My God, can you only tell one? Just one.
I'll tell one, and maybe it'll inspire you guys. But
Wait, Trey,
My-
what are you doing?
I'm looking for my phone.
oh shit.
All right, because I'm trying to see if my package got here, but it's okay. It's okay.
Oh shit. Okay, but like actually, it's not my, I can't think of a story straight real quick about me, but I remember my ex who told me the story once about how her mom went back to Colombia and they used to live in like this one house that
Yeah, Colombians are superstitious as fuck.
it is. So that's why I'm like, oh shit, man. But she was in this house and like there I think a grandfather or the father died at that time, and like they say they could still smell him like in the air, and then during the day.
Wait, but how long? That seems kind of normal.
No,
like, how
but
long
no,
is
like
that?
like in the
His
day.
body's just lying there like, fuck, man, he reeks.
Yeah, I mean, if all his
It was-
stuff and his belongings
it's like,
are there, you know
it's
what I'm
no,
saying?
it was like after his burial, and like and at home she is my ex was like sitting in bed with her sister, and then she just like gets a feeling, she's like, hey,
Oh, my Jesus,
something
what the
just
heck?
happened. Something just happened right now.
I heard a similar story. Oh, sorry, finish.
And they could smell the grandpa too. Or I think their grandpa.
They can smell.
Troy,
you've sat on the same spot on the bed like 3 times now. Man.
Sorry. I just feel I'm a little crazy.
In Florida, like they're like he died in Colombia, but they're in Florida, and as soon as he died, they could start smelling him, and they're like something just happened, and then they get the call like, yo, Grandpa just died.
Oh, so they smelt him before he died?
No, they smelt him in Florida when he died in Colombia.
Yeah, but did they get the call first?
Before they knew that he was dead.
Like before they got the call, yeah.
Wow.
I think, and this is just tip of the iceberg. There's countless stories like these where people can sense something before the real evidence comes out. So I feel like there just has to be something.
There has to be something.
It's definitely strange.
Definitely strange. Something inexplainable. Maybe it's not exactly what we think is like ghosts and spirits, but it's something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Something unexplainable at the moment.
So you don't believe in ghosts, Tanner, at all? Like.
No, I mean, I think it's possible, but I don't live my life thinking that there are ghosts.
Well, I don't live my life like every day watching out for ghosts.
I know, but you actively think like you have that fear that there are ghosts, but I don't. Like if I were to walk into a haunted house.
Oh, you would walk into a haunted house?
Yeah, like I don't care. Yeah.
Oh, you crazy.
But earlier I said that Colombians are superstitious people, but really Chinese people are super superstitious too.
I feel like they are superstitious, but not really in terms of like ghosts, right? It's like literal, just bad luck, like breaking mirrors.
Yeah, I guess it is a lot of
like black cat. You know, that's like a little different.
Listen, I'm not afraid
you can't have the chopsticks going straight into the fucking bowl of rice and that kind of
things
shit.
like that. Not like literal ghosts and spirits, but definitely
they believe in ancestry.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're very into like ancestral spirits.
Yeah, but not in like a scared way. I feel they're very respectful.
Have you ever seen Mulan, dude? That shit was scary.
Yeah, that shit was real.
Oh.
Oh.
They'll send a dragon after you, decide your fate. They'll tell you who to marry.
And then I have to chase the dragon?
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. Like, that shit was based off a real life story.
Yeah, IRL.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Find your phone.
But do you have any like Vietnamese superstitions?
But yeah, I think it's very similar to the Chinese, just in terms of like all that bad luck stuff and like honoring your ancestors. But in terms of being like scared of ghosts, no, that doesn't really pop up. No, I would say.
Yeah, but Hispanics are, I guess all these cultures are super superstitious.
Everyone has their own superstition, except white people. White people aren't afraid of ghosts, man.
Yeah, and fucking Korean superstition is that a fan will kill you. So
yeah.
I guess, we've all got our fucking quirks.
Like, I can't remember like a white person coming up to me and like, oh my god, man, I just saw my Uncle Patty. And like,
my Uncle Patty?
Yeah, like St. Patty. And I'm like, what?
I also feel like a lot about ghosts in like a Pascal's wager type way. So the Pascal's wager, like you may as well believe in God just in case, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say the biggest white person ghost is Jesus Christ.
I mean, and the Holy Spirit and
the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Spirit,
wait, they're all in one. We're back to this topic.
Right,
yeah, it all depends which religion. But or do all the Christian religions believe in a Trinity? Is that true?
I think they all believe in the Holy Spirit, the Son, and the God.
So
I don't know if they all believe that He's all in one.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So okay.
I know it's definitely a thing in Catholicism.
Well. Damn,
so yeah, man, they're pretty superstitious too, man. They got their Jesus coming around, waiting to. I mean,
you saw how Scrooge dealt with that shit, dude.
The Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yeah, like that dude was fucking insane.
I found it.
Wow.
You sat on it like 5 times.
Yeah, so it was really close. It was really close.
Did you get your package? Was it all?
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of.
What are you expecting?
Patch cables for my pedal board to connect pedal to pedal.
Oh, okay.
Everything else is ready.
I've got a question for everyone.
Okay.
What did you kind of think you were headed after high school?
After high school?
Like what path? Like what was your path that you kind of set for yourself that you wanted? Not necessarily the one that happened, but the path that you wanted. Yeah,
I thought I was gonna be. I thought I wanted to do biomedical engineering or something engineering related because I went to high school and they had an engineering program, but I was really interested in math and physics and all that kind of stuff.
You wanted to be a biomedical engineer, and look, you're in the medical field at kind of.
Yeah, some things just have a way of coming back around.
Yeah.
What about you?
I wanted
Oh,
to join.
you're gonna be a jarhead, right?
Yeah, a
What is
jarhead.
that?
A jarhead.
What is that?
What the fuck? Give us some respect. Give them some respect, you asshole.
What is a jarhead?
It's
I don't know.
military. Military. I was gonna join the Air
Oh.
Force.
Okay.
And I was gonna be a communications officer, or like do signal analysis, and that sort of shit, and kind of do ROTC in college. That was kind of the plan.
Cool.
But I was just like, damn, am I really gonna have to leave this country and like live in military in Iraq for maybe 3? I have to stay commissioned for 6 years, I believe. Damn, I don't know if I could do that. And at that time, I was dating my ex, and that kind of held me back because, like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave her or something, or leave my own family.
Oh,
yeah.
You care about her more than your country? Wow, man.
Not anymore.
Oh, say
America till I die. But yeah, Troy, you?
My whole life I was pretty lost at what I wanted to do, and then I had this miraculous like moment when I was 17, senior in high school. I was watching a concert video of Joe Hisaishi performing the soundtrack to Howl's Moving Castle. Well, not just Howl's Moving Castle, but all of his movies. It was like a huge 25th year long, or like a crazy year long celebration of him like making those movies. And he was, conducting the orchestra in real time alongside to like the scene in the background. So their goal was to play the music at this perfect time in accordance to the movie in the back. Mm-hmm. And not only was he doing that, for a couple of parts, he would leave the conductor stairs and go down to the piano and play along with him too. So he was like doing 2 jobs, and it was so sick. And he was like featuring like really talented, singers coming on stage like through lights and then directing them. He was doing all of this, and then that's when it finally clicked. Like, this is what I want to do with my life, and like I was really, really happy about that. So as soon as I knew that's what I wanted to do, before I continue, let me backtrack a bit. So I started learning piano when I was like 6 or 7, right? And one thing that I always did that my piano teacher loved was once I learned something, I would change it up a little bit. So like I would be like,
you had your own little flavor.
Like da 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 da, and then just like 2 random notes at the end, things like that. She was like, "Oh, what was cool? What was that?" And I was like, "I just thought it made it sound better. I like that." Yeah. And then she was like, "Okay, that's cool." And then I would start doing that on a more and more larger scale, and then I got a lot into like video games and anime music, and that music is really, really creative and advanced. So that really broadened my horizons for what I was like learning in piano school, basically. So I saw that video. It changed my life. I wanted to become a composer for like movies, video games, soundtracks, things like that. And I studied really, really hard. And I tried to get into FSU Music School, which I heard was like really hard to get into, especially depending on which major within the school you want. So I went for music composition. I failed my first year, even though like I did all this work, and then I had like a letter of recommendation from like a music professor. And then I tried a year again later, tried even harder, and then I wrote like better original compositions that you have to turn in with your application, and I got rejected a second time. And so after 2 years of like failing like my dream, like I wanted to go there so bad, especially because my piano teacher was a graduate from FSU Music School.
Oh.
So I was also trying to follow in my teacher's footsteps. And
was she a composer student, or? I
think she majored. If I had to guess, she just majored in like teaching, music teaching.
Mm-hmm. Music ed.
Yeah. I don't fully remember, but I'm probably that's what it was. So I realized, okay, this isn't gonna work. But then I was exploratory while trying to become a music major, right? And while I was exploratory, I was taking some economics classes, and I had never really known about anything about economics before, and I really loved it, and I immediately took that as like my next like option. Yeah.
So with all this, like all of us going off like a different path than we kind of originally intended, do you think it's for the better, or do you wish you still stick to that path?
Honestly, and I think this is a really huge philosophy I believe in a lot. A lot of people will say things like, "I don't regret this because this," or "I don't regret this because this." But I think there are a ton of cases in your life where if you just would have like tried harder or done the right thing, your life would just be like strictly better, if not 99% better.
Facts.
I think people use that. I don't regret anything. Like no regrets. I think that's like a crutch to like make up for your stupid mistakes. Like you didn't study for this test, right? You didn't study for this test. You failed this, so you failed college. But then you met a couple of cool people. Like if I didn't, fail that test, I would have never met these cool people. But like honestly, probably should have studied harder for your test and would have had this, and you could probably also have those friends too.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like I wish I tried even harder to actually
Damn,
get.
Troy, you being a hardcore motherfucker.
Yeah, I like to be. If I'm gonna be hard on others, I
yeah.
gotta be hard on myself too.
That's right.
Mhm.
Damn, that's a good way to look at it. Actually,
Yeah,
that's
because I hear people say all the time, no regrets. I don't regret doing this, and in my head I'm like, no, what you did was so stupid, man.
damn. See,
You fucked
you're
up.
not lukewarm, Troy. You're not
Yeah.
lukewarm. You know,
Yeah, depending on the subject, I'm very
passionate.
I know
about
what I
something.
believe in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Wait, so Tanner,
Definitely.
do you now, based on what he just said, do you regret not being a biomedical engineer?
No, because for two reasons. One of them is I don't think I was cut out for it, and number two, it wasn't really a passion of mine. It was just kind of because I was riding off the coattails of, you know, being okay at physics and, you know, wanting to do something engineering related from high school and stuff like that. So I don't think that that was really the path for me. I think whatever, and I guess this is kind of in opposition to what Troy says, but I think whatever path I take is the path that I'm like supposed to take. And I don't really regret anything that I do because I feel like everything that I do has a purpose for me.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't regret it. But do you regret not joining the army?
I regret so many things in life, but like, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know if the thing I regret most about, it's not about going to the military. I don't think that was the thing I really cared too much about. I only did that because I was in ROTC for JROTC for 4 years of my high school life, and
so that's similar to how I felt about, doing engineering in high school, which doesn't translate to anything. But yeah, go ahead.
So so I did that, and I wanted to like kind of maintain that same kind of flow I was already doing. And then so I thought, oh, maybe joining the military is basically the path I'm supposed to take. Being because of that, I already came from this path. I already started on it, but I came into college, and the two majors I was really like deciding on was finance and computer science. And I chose finance first. I was originally going to do ICT because I didn't think I was smart enough for computer science.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
I don't think you are either.
Okay, well, you motherfucker. I don't think so. I still don't think I am because what kind of helped?
Yeah, I wasn't either.
What held me back was the math, and like I've never really been so great at math. I was gifted for math up until 9th grade, and I fucking got a D plus in algebra 2. And
oh fuck
yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm not actually as cut out as I've always thought I was. So I never got a chance to take calculus in like high school, so I didn't think I was capable of doing that in college. So I told myself, you need to back off and follow this other path.
I actually think that algebra is harder than calculus.
It is. I took calculus and I took a business calc, which is honestly still an easier version of calculus, but
yeah. But calc is just in general so much easier because
it's easier to understand.
It's like you get to skip all those things that you had to do in algebra. Like there's like the Riemann sum equations or whatever, where you have to take the sum of a bunch of trapezoids and stuff like that. But in calculus, you literally just you just take an integral, which is just, you have these kind of preset rules that if you have exponents, this is what you do, blah blah blah. So it's a simplified version of algebra. So I don't blame you for fucking up in algebra because I fucking hated it.
I hated algebra. Like I should have taken algebra 2. I should have taken calc, but the professor he was such like.
Because like, no, you're fucking stupid.
That's basically what he said. He's like, if you can't handle algebra 2, there's no fucking way you could handle calculus AB. And I'm like, all right, man, you the boss. You an old white man.
You're right.
You know
you were just a young jarhead back then.
I was a young jarhead then. I wanted to serve my fucking country, and I wanted to be a finance major because of like a role model I had back in like 8th grade. So like this one of my cousin's ex at that time. He was studying in at McGill or whatever, some one of the schools in Montreal, and he was a finance major, and basically he kind of told me all the spiel of what finance is and like how he was going to become a financial advisor or some sort of deal with that. And he eventually did. Like he like now he's like a manager, making him probably like 180K, married, not to my cousin Ripperoni, but he's like 30 and he's making all this fucking money, and he's able to do something that he loves. And I thought maybe I could do something similar. And once I got to college, I hated fucking finance. Finance is so boring. Then that's when I took up MIS, because I've always had the passion for like, computers and information technology. So I wanted. Oh my god, what are you doing? And
What are you doing, dude? Are you trying to eat more
Put
tacos?
that fucking taco away.
Oh shit!
So that it'd be ready once we
my
finish.
god, dude.
Go ahead.
But
sorry, you were talking about.
I took MIS, you fucking asshole. Like, God, be a little bit of a professional for once.
I'm hungry, man.
You had 3 tacos before. I haven't eaten anything since like 5. But like,
all right. Continue.
But I chose MIS because I still had that passion for information technology, and I wanted to kind of integrate business and IT together. So that's why I'm in this field now, and I still like it. I still want to progress more, but I kind of wish I was in computer science so I can do better things, live in the cities that I want to live, and do the jobs that I want to be in.
Yeah, and I had felt somewhat similar to you. I mean, I didn't have that passion for business, but one of my teachers, my physics teacher from high school, and he was a big role model to me, but he had told us that, whatever we do, we should get a minor in business, because, learning business is obviously super important. So I was like, well, I like computers, and, I was told that I should get something in business. And I was like, well, fucking MIS is that perfect bridge in between both of those. But then I realized that I hated business and it's super boring. I was like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'll just do IT. Yeah. No, I can't. Like, I think one of the first classes that I took as part of the curriculum was like some sort of intro to risk management. And I was like, this is so boring, dude. Like,
honestly, a lot of the classes were bullshit. But once you got into the classes of the actual major, you learn a lot and it's fun.
But I couldn't even bring myself to endure that first intro class. Within the first week of seeing the material for it, I was like, all right, drop, doing something else.
Damn, I don't. Maybe that's good on you, because you were willing to give up on something and immediately switch to something else.
Yeah, well, I mean, by that, I'm a super indecisive person, and even by that time, I had switched between 3 other majors, from biomedical to fucking speech pathology to computer science.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I'm the type of person to make such a drastic change like that. My change was that I added MIS to my major. No, I didn't switch. I added because I was so afraid of not being enough. So I wanted so I chose 2 majors instead. Maybe if I just stuck to CS or something, I still could have done well and passed it fine. But
I'm very much I'm a very throw caution to the wind kind of person when it comes to that. I just kind of go with the flow. If I don't like something, I just divert, and then if I do, then I'll continue, kind of thing. But no, business was just not in my wheelhouse. It was just so dry, just reading the content and stuff like that, because it's
some things
when it comes to
a lot of the things were interesting, but overall I don't think it was for me.
Yeah, well, for me, I liked computer science because you have algorithms, there's problems to solve that are very clear and straightforward, but when it comes to business, things are a lot more they're unclear. A lot more up in the air. Yeah, they're less clear. You have those equations to calculate risk and stuff like that. But they didn't seem as tangible to me as computer science.
It's true, but computer I think at FSU computer science was very theory oriented though.
Yeah, I mean, and FSU is a research school in general, so a lot of it is geared towards research, and they want you to do research at their school. So they do go on to the theory and stuff like that. But even then, it was just the fact of algorithms and learning about. I guess just computers in general just interested me more. Those things seemed more tangible to me than trying to figure out, is this the right business decision? Is there enough risk or something like that? But now that I'm older and now that I have a job and where I have to calculate my finances and stuff like that, you know, a lot of this stuff makes a lot more sense to me. Like I understand what risk means in this sense now and stuff like that. Whereas like before I had no idea.
Do you guys seek any higher education at this point? Now that like you've already started,
I feel like I have all the tools I need to like be happy and be successful. I just have to like use my tools.
I think. Well, what do you mean by further education? In what sense?
Like maybe a
master's, PhD.
Yeah.
Go back
so
to
I
actually
definitely,
like a school. Go back to school.
Yeah, I would love to, but I mean, like right now, my job is about continuous learning because we have to get certifications. We have a whole list of certifications we have to get, and then like every X number of months or every X number of years or at least every year, we have to get recertified in whatever because the technology changes and we just have to update our knowledge. So like this job feels like I'm in school but working at the same time.
I mean, like a lot of jobs when you when you do a master's degree, they count that as years of experience. So like they kind of equate that to being in an associate position. For the same amount of years.
But I do want to get my master's, and maybe for the wrong reasons, but I want to get it for the pay bump because that's an instant pay bump.
That's a good reason.
That's everyone's main reason.
That's a good reason.
Really, I think.
But I feel like if you're going to pursue a master's, like you should really care about
choose something that you want. I
I like IT, but it's not like I'm looking to do good in the world with, you know, I think I'm just trying to do it so I can get some money.
I mean, we all do.
Oh, well, why'd you do a bachelor's?
To get some money, but but like a master's is like I don't know because it's very area focused. But you know, maybe it's not wrong. Maybe I'm just
I think Tanner is displaying. I'm not going to hold him like too guilty to this, but I think a lot of people feel this guilt of like being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like just because like you want some money, there's nothing wrong with that. Because
no, there isn't.
Yeah, money is.
And really what the heck? Like I'm paying this school like a ridiculous sum of money so that I can make some money back in return. So it's my own investment.
You're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I want to go back to school. I want to go get an MBA in like data analytics or something, but I don't know if I do go back to get an MBA, I want to do it full time.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Oh, so you don't want to be working while you're doing it?
Yeah, I don't want to do it part time. I want to do it completely full time because I think.
But don't you want your job to be able to pay for it?
I do. That's why I'm caught in between a rock and a hard place because I want them to pay for it, but I also want to be able to put 100% into it because I know an MBA would mean that much to me, and like it literally changes how I see like business operations or how I do everything.
I mean, okay, I guess so. Like you want a more hands-on approach to your education for your higher education. Because I was gonna say, because you can do a lot of master's programs. There's a lot of them that you can do online.
Yeah, I see those bullshit ones. I see.
You don't want to do that?
I don't want to do
it.
I mean, I wanted to for
the pay bump. I don't care.
I do. I would do it for the pay bump too. And I've considered that as well, but I also think that for my sake in the future, if I ever want to be a super hardcore entrepreneur or like the best that I can be, I would need to put 100% of my focus into my MBA.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like? So we mostly go to college, for the bachelor's for the recognition, so that you can better get a job, right?
Yeah.
But now that you've already got that better job, don't you feel like you can just learn everything you need to learn to be a successful entrepreneur just online for free? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Everything is
That's
available.
why I'm saying, like, I don't care.
For example, so the jobs that us three have now, to learn how to do those things, you could just learn it for free online, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of.
But we just had to go to college to get in.
Yeah, like you weren't even in like a data analytics type major. You were a little bit. You were economics, so you did learn a little SAS. But
no, I mean, he said I was in the top 3 applicants because I did SAS programming.
And because of that data analytics part. If you never did any sort of like sort of statistical analysis or anything like that, I don't think you would have been like where you were today. So
it's funny because a lot of the people at my work, they're all post-grad physics majors, math majors, things like completely unrelated to health, software, IT kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So and they specifically hire these physics majors and these math majors because, you know, there's something inherently different about the way that those kinds of people think about problems and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was super interesting because when I think, like, if you're going to go to school and study physics, I would imagine you doing something like research related or, you know, engineering related, but, you know, they're doing health IT, which, I mean, is still admirable, but it's just like, if I was investing my time into something that was pure physics, which is like theoretical and stuff like that, then I would be doing something in the field of research. That's just,
Yeah.
If I were to spend that much time, yeah.
I don't know, man. It really hits me every now and then whether or not I should go back to school because I would have to forego this.
Go to U Memphis. You should just do your online degree at U Memphis, man. Or if they have that option.
They do have it on. FSU also has an online degree option.
They do, but would you pay out of state tuition for an online degree? Is there?
No,
Okay.
I already checked. FSU does not. But I
really feel like you can just learn everything you want to learn online right now. Like I think whatever they're about to teach you, you could just Google it from.
Yeah, but you know, it's all about the paper. It's all about the paper.
I mean, yeah.
The thing is, how I learn is that I learn best on the job or like in person.
Oh, you like the professional teaching?
Yeah, like I don't like being like I don't like the regurgitation.
You don't like self-learning?
Yeah. But don't you think a successful entrepreneur like taught himself almost everything? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably. I mean, damn. Oh.
Yeah, because I always feel weird when you can major in entrepreneurship and then become.
Yeah,
I'm like all these successful entrepreneurs we look up to, like they dropped out of college and they like learned everything on their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But
that's the feeling I'm getting. Yeah.
There's definitely hard skills to learn in entrepreneurship, though, for sure.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. I mean, like a lot of the big entrepreneurs that we know now, they're all self-made. Like
I think we definitely have the tools. We have the first job, you know, that can help you generate the capital for your dream, right? You have like a ton of good hard skills that you learn from college, right? And then now any other gaps you need, I feel like you could just Google it.
And that's what my cousin did because he didn't go to university. He didn't go to college.
So he's only a high school diploma kid. No,
what?
I guess not.
No, but I mean, like his whole thing was like he pursued his own. Like I think he got his GED. But he kind of just, you know, he found something he was super passionate about, and he was very driven.
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
I don't. That title, the paper doesn't define you. I don't think. And like.
Yeah, for sure. No. Yeah, and you know, I guess I was saying it's all about having that diploma and everything for your master's, and that works in like the business world that you know we live in. But really, if you wanted to make a way for yourself, you can. If you have like the passion, when I asked you about if you had a high school diploma, you kind of hesitated because you felt kind of ashamed to like. I didn't feel ashamed, but I just didn't know if that's something that you know I should say.
You didn't want to air out his. I mean, I feel like it shouldn't. It's not I feel like it's not something to look down on. I feel like
it's not. It's not because I felt shame about it. It's just because it's not my business. You know. Yeah. But no, for sure. I mean, I look up to him, you know, because I see that, like, even before everything, I knew that he was a super driven guy. Like, whatever he wanted, he went. Like, he put his all into it, and so that's what it all comes down to, really. It's like, are you willing to sacrifice? You know, are you willing to sacrifice for what you want to achieve, kind of thing?
Yeah.
But you know, as a lot of the things that you don't know off the bat and the things that he had to find out was like legal stuff, like, and those are things that I would imagine they would teach you in entrepreneurship,
or like MBA,
because learning how, like, if you have a good idea, how do you sell that? How do you attract investors?
How do you protect it too?
How do you protect it? And that's a really big thing.
I still think all these things can be Googled pretty easily.
They can. You definitely have to have a lot of like self-will.
Yeah. It is like, and I think Jason made a good point about how you prefer to learn, right? So even though I said you can learn everything you want on Google, some people will go the extra mile, pay the money and time to learn it professionally, and then that makes them happier because at the end of the day, I think the goal of life is happiness. So whatever makes you happier, do it.
Wow.
You know?
If there's anything you should take away from this podcast, it's do whatever makes you happy, even if it means fucking over other people.
Yeah. That's right. And my goal in life is to fuck over as many people as I can.
Happy.
Like, no fucking joke, dude. Like, I want to fuck over a lot of people.
I will run you over.
I will fuck over families like people with like no parents, people with no children. If you lost your child recently, I will fuck you over.
All right. Any type of job, any type of second job you ever want to get, you have to become an entrepreneur now. This is floating around on the internet.
I think this is a perfect time to cut the show. Cut the show. End it.
You think it's the perfect time?
Right now.
Yeah, because this man's about to murder people's children.
I didn't say. I said cut. I didn't say anything about killing people. Chill out, dude.
I think it was strongly implied.
Yeah.
I think it was yeah, largely hinted at.
All right. With that, I guess that is the end of It's About
Oh,
That
do we
Time.
want to do our song outro?
I mean,
We don't know a song outro, but I promise that when we do, it'll be really good.
that's right.
No. We'll have Jason freestyle. He'll freestyle this out. You want to give us a guitar jam?
No. I think you do it, and I'll get Mr. Giraffe.
Okay.
Mr. Giraffe.
Yeah, I got Mr. Giraffe.
Oh, he's gonna. Troy,
I'll just do the same thing I did last time.
Wait, Troy, come in my room and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that way you guys will be perfectly.
mute your mic.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? We want to thank you guys for tuning in to our podcast. We've been working really hard to try and make this podcast a little bit better, and we've gone through several iterations, even if you haven't even listened to them. But this is how we like to end the podcast from now on. You guys ready?
Sure. This is so fucking dumb. Thank you for watching. You guys are pretty cool. When I get naked, I like to play with my boobs.